pandemic amnesty. Oh, we're sorry, we were wrong.
We're on the air,
No,
Mitch.
okay.
Just so you know.
You were wrong. There's plenty
I'm
of
always
people who are wrong.
I'll let you know as soon as we pass the 8-minute mark, so that we'll be safe from the algorithm. Come on in, everybody. It's time for Sunday Funnies. Yeah, exactly. Here is the opening. And it seems appropriate that we run this right now as well.
The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors.
I don't need that now. We got it all out in the green room. It's all sorted out. It's all back there with the Cheetos and the coffee. It's fine.
That
I
just
didn't get any Cheetos.
Oh, you were
No
late,
Cheetos.
mate. Me and Glenn done the lot.
Were they flaming hot?
Cheetos
Flaming
out.
hot Cheetos?
I think we should have a podcast called The Green Room, and it'd be like that play noises off where the play takes place off stage.
It would be it would be banned immediately. It would be shadow banned immediately.
We're already probably demonetized.
Yeah.
So we don't have enough subscribers to get monetization yet, but we don't want to upset any potential sponsors out there.
So anyway, every time that beginning comes on and you get that little laugh, Randy, that lightens the mood. It makes me feel so much better.
Well, thank you. It's all good to know, because this business, this industry is so small. You have no idea how much of a microcosm it is to be in this business, and stuff that you've done being around long enough, 20, 30, 40 years, just comes right back and bites you on the ass.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who it was I was listening to the other day, but they kind of I'm going to be shortening this and encapsulating it. But it's basically, it's like, don't fool yourself into thinking that by selling 30 or 40,000 books, you're reaching any more quality of reader than you are by selling 500 books.
Yeah.
To people who really want to read your stuff.
Yep.
You know, don't get like some kind of ego about it. Don't get some, star paranoia about it, because it's all crap. It's like, just, make sure the people that you do get your stuff out to really want to read it. Because, this, and it's, and especially at the moment with the, with you mentioning the way the industry is, it's a really weird industry. It's quite insular. But now it seems to be, it's almost like a big one-sided peanut, and one side has just got smaller and smaller and shrunk, and the other side has exploded into this massive half of a peanut. And
so it's just
it's
a
all
nut.
very weird.
Can it be a circus peanut?
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
Okay.
We've got to talk about elephants soon.
You said you got it all out.
Yeah. Well, I kept it into the allegorical aspect of peanuts. That was
okay. That's great.
Monkey nuts.
What have you got against peanuts?
Peanuts, the Jungle Fresh. You remember that?
There's nothing wrong with Charlie Brown. There's nothing wrong with Snoopy. Anyway.
Oh no! It's got nothing to do with him. No. When I said peanut, I meant monkey nut. I meant like one of those big monkey. Do you remember those candy monkey nuts you used to get?
Yeah.
They were lovely. They were like toffee
fantastic.
monkey nuts.
Yeah.
Well, monkey nuts, peanuts, whatever.
They were lovely. Yeah, I do remember those. Yeah.
They're fantastic.
Over here, all it would do is make Beavis and Butthead giggle all the more. Monkey nuts.
Yeah. I can see her things.
Monkey nuts.
Beavis and Butthead.
Friends in the house, hello. How are you, buddy? How are you? Sorry if I've been mispronouncing your name this whole time. Marvis says, greetings, sinners. Having fun, Randy? Having lots of fun. My voice is a little raw this morning because I was at a convention Friday night and all day Saturday, and it was all me talking. So
Yaggity, yaggity, yak.
That's pretty much it. Marvy says, Jesus, what's up?
I think yeah. Is that Jesus or is that Jesus?
Jesus.
Jesus.
Oh, wrong Jesus. Okay. Anyway, I thought he was talking about our conversation.
Yeah, like no.
It's just Marv.
I
Hi.
felt Jesus.
Oh, that
And
is
he kept,
Jesus there. Yeah.
It wasn't
Sorry.
an exclamation. It was someone's name.
Oh, sorry. I read that wrong.
yeah.
I love you. Thank you so
I
much.
discovered Jesus, and he said, "Stop calling me Jesus. The name's Jesus."
Yeah, Jesus.
All right.
You want to know how small this comic business is? I got a story for you. I think Glenn read it over on the Nerd Bacon site or whatever. I might have posted or at the Arrow Comic site, something like that. I did the Great Lakes Con over the weekend. And it's not, well, this is still the weekend, but it was a Friday, Saturday show, which is why I'm able to be here today. And I'm going to be on JD's podcast later tonight at 7:30. If anybody who knows JD's talking about the indies, I'm looking forward to that if I get back in time, but we'll see. I got a little trip to do in between time. Got a niece in the hospital that we're going to run over the other side of the state and visit. Just a jaunt, Glenn, just a small trip.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, over to Grand Rapids. But anyway, I did the Great Lakes Con yesterday.
That's only 50 miles. It's not that far.
Oh, no, it's more like, I don't know, 150 probably. Okay. It's an hour and 45 minutes.
Okay.
Anyway, of a drive there one way. Anyway.
Yep.
Did the con Friday night, getting set up, stopped by. Of course, before you always want to be there early when you do a convention. I always want to get there an hour or so early just so I can walk through the retailers and see what they do. And a lot of these shows lately, there haven't been a whole lot of comic retailers there. It's been rather sparse as far as dealers go, but this is a good comic book show. And they had about, I don't know, probably the majority of the dealers at least were comic dealers, which anymore is really rare. So I caught a guy who was selling comics for $2 a piece.
Oh,
So I went in and cleaned up on a bunch of these reading copies and bought a small stack of stuff. Caught another guy who was selling graphic novels for very inexpensive prices. And so I went in there and got one of those. Almost got another copy of Bern Hogarth's Tarzan of the Apes book. Almost bought it, but I already got a copy of it. But this was a lot cleaner copy. It was in hardback. Then my dust cover on my book is just shattered. So we'll show it off one of these days. It's a great book. But as it was, I did get a Tarzan book.
Right. What Joe Kubert? Oh, look at that. Oh,
Look at that is. That is every Joe Kubert Tarzan that he did for DC. Every last. I didn't even know this book existed, and I'm going through it. I'm going,
books.
oh, look at that. And I picked it up and I went, holy crap. It's every Kubert story that he did for DC. Just beautifully done. And believe it or not, in the original color.
Wow.
It's awesome.
So you got beautiful flat colors on this with great Kubert inking, just masterfully done. It's a Masterworks book, even though it's
that coloring looks okay to me. It looks,
yeah.
The stuff we were looking at on the on Friday,
the Manhunter book.
Yeah. Well, that looks okay because they've done it normally.
Yeah. I got to figure out how to. There's a button that I need to push on the settings. I think that I need to find in order to pop that screen out 100%.
Push the button. You know you want to. Push
I
the
know.
button.
I'm looking for it. I'm not finding it now. I'm going to have to go look for it again. But right now, I need to run over to Facebook here real quick. So
Get away from the flits.
excuse me while I change my setting over there because it's always set to private instead of public. It drives me crazy. There we are. Facebook is saved. People over in Facebook, come on in. Come on in, folks. We're here. Finally. Where is it? It gets rid of the outside border. I figured it out before. Slides. Nope. Anyway, I should have looked for it earlier. I am so uncoordinated today. Anyway, the story is these are great. We'll go through the comics if we have time. I want to kind of cut our episode this morning short so that we get an early start over there. But look at that elephant.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Look at that. Look at that. We'll go through some of Kubert's work when we do comics by night.
We should go through Frank Bellamy's stuff soon as well, because maybe on a Friday, because he draws all those kind of animals and thunderbirds and things, rhinos. And really beautifully drawn. Have you seen them?
I've got the trade that has a couple of Bellamy's stories in it.
Right.
The trade collections.
Because he wanted to
21
he was thinking, not long before he died, he was thinking of sort of retiring from the mainstream and going living in Africa and just drawing wildlife and stuff.
Sweet.
But he died.
But anyway, on a Friday I drove back home. That was only a quick hour drive from where the convention was going on, so that I could bring my sketchbook back with me the next day. And I got an autograph and a signature. Anyway, Friday morning or Friday afternoon, it was a 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Friday show. Got there a couple hours early, was doing shopping, had a big stack of books. Maybe not big, 10 books, I think, sitting there on the tabletop. Who walks by? Dan Didio walks by.
Well, there you go.
All right. Dan Didio walks by and turns and walks over to my table and says, "Randy, how you doing?" And I go, "I know who you are. How are you?" And shook his hand. He goes, "Dude, no, I just wanted to thank you." And I said, "What? What?" And he goes, "You sent me the nicest rejection letter I ever received." And I went back when Arrow Comics, back in the 80s, we were going to do an anthology book called Spare Parts, and he submitted. And apparently we had a correspondence that I don't remember, that I sent him back a rejection slip on his stuff. And it's he says, "I've still got it. I've got it at home in a file." It's the nicest rejection slip I've ever read. I said, "And I got to tell you how much I appreciated that." I said, "Well, you're welcome. I don't remember writing it. I don't remember, I didn't remember your name from back then, but, thank you." And he says, No. It's just, it meant a lot to me. And when I saw your name on the guest list today, I knew I had to come over and say hello and thank you. And I'm
Good
like,
memory.
Wow, well, that's cool.
Wow. Yeah.
I said, and then I looked at him. I says, "Man, if I'd have known I had an in at DC, I'd have hit you up for a job."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh," I says, "Yeah, I'd have begged to be your reprint editor." And he went, "Oh, says, "We could have used you too." Says, those people over there never listen to me. I kept telling them to go back in the library and dig up the oddball stuff, and they would never do it." And I said, "Dude," the stack was sitting on the table. I said, "Dude, most of the stuff I just got and bought were these old 100-page super spectacular books that I used to love as a kid. I found a couple of them. Here's a great Legion 100-pager, Superboy and the Legion of Superhero. Just great stuff."
They nearly got some artwork on the cover of that, didn't they?
Oh, that's let me blow that up here. I believe that is the unbelievable Nick Cardy. Wow. One of his last covers that drew that.
That Superman drawing reminds me of that Thor that Kirby did when Odin's.
Yeah, it's definitely Nick Cardy though. But the story inside, I remember a lot when I was a kid. It's one of my favorite Legion stories, because they end up going to this platform out in the ocean, and they're being attacked by a large creature from the Black Lagoon type monster. Until they find out that, and they're fighting it until they find out that he's actually sentient. And
he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
The
after
monsters are always a good guy.
Picked up another 100-pager of Superman, $2.
What's Dan Didio doing now?
He is the editor-in-chief over at Frank Miller Presents.
Oh,
Frank Miller's doing his own publishing stuff. So.
Yeah. He's doing like Sin City and the sequel to Ronin.
Right.
Yeah, the DC's Frank Miller's Ronin. Yeah.
Is Miller
not
still
the
around?
last, not the last Ronin. That's over at IDW.
I thought Miller was on his way out. Is he all right now? Is he recovered? I thought he was ill.
Seems to be okay. The stuff they're doing is top notch looking. They're doing some top notch artwork over there.
Almost as good as us.
Almost.
Yeah. Almost. They can keep trying.
She says, I love the opening. Yeah, it's Tarzan. Yep. Absolutely. Little projects there, double feature. Pedro's in the house. Pedro, you want a link? I'll send you a link. Let me know. You're always welcome on here. Good morning, gents. Finally get to see you live. Awesome. Pedro, you want a link? I should probably throw it up in the Nerd Bacon site just in case anybody's up over there. Lukestone's Hybrids Indiegogo campaign. Yes, thanks Marvy for posting that. Double feature campaign. Pedro. And beautiful, Randy. Yeah, it's just great stuff. But anyway, that was funny, and I'm like, yeah. Flabber. I told him, thanks. You made my show already. Show hasn't even started. I said, thanks, though. And he come back over Saturday morning too, and we talked for quite a while. He was talking about how he used to be a producer over at ABC, which is a major broadcast company here, and he was trying to get different projects up there. And when the job came open over at DC, he jumped over at it. And when people found out he was a producer over at ABC and now he was editor-in-chief over at DC, they considered it a step down, but he always wanted to do comics. So that's what he wanted to do. And that's why when he left DC, he's working with Frank Miller, trying to build up his company. So it was a good talk. But you never know how this business works. And I'm sitting here after he's leaving and I'm like going, man, I wonder if I said anything bad about him on the air.
I know I did.
There were a couple of times he said that they couldn't find decent talent and they didn't know why their facsimile issues were selling higher than their original issues, which is like, duh, dude, quality. But yeah, anyway, it was good. But the convention, the whole rest of the show ran like that. A lot of good people, a lot of nice talk, sold a lot of old comics. Stuff that's 20, 25 years old. People were coming in and buying and having signed and all. It was just an amazingly good time. Sold a few new Arrow things, but not as many as the old stuff. So
did Rosema drop in? Wasn't he coming?
No,
to
he
see
wasn't
us?
there.
Right.
Who knows where Rosema is? He's hiding.
No one knows.
No one knows.
No one knows where the Rosema goes.
Who knows?
When the stars arrive, you see Scott Rosema.
Yeah.
No one knows where the Rosema goes.
We love you, Scott.
He knows we're just joking. Anyway, I ended up.
I don't like Rosema, but he used his Jedi powers on me, and now I love him.
That sounds dodgy.
You will love the Rosema.
I love the Rosema now. Jedi powers.
And there we are. Boom! I just posted it over on the Nerd Bacon link over on the Nerd Bacon thread. If anybody over there wants to come in, you're more than welcome. We're just going to talk this morning. I did get back a book I let dealer friend of mine borrow years ago. We're talking a couple of years before the bug. I remembered to email him before a show so that he could pull it and bring it back to me.
Sorry, I got back a book from a dealer friend of mine, but it used all the pages for roaches.
Well, he kept asking me. He kept asking me if I wanted to sell it, and I'm like, oh, I hope he didn't sell it out from underneath me, thinking it was his. That would have been too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Mr. Pedro Ang. Pedro, how you doing, buddy?
How are you?
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you, man. I mean, I have to take advantage of this Barry White voice I have right now. I gotta let my degenerate friends notice to stop celebrating my birthday. Dude, like I turned 49 on the 22nd, and it's been a never-ending part of surprise parties and booze.
Wait until you're 50, mate.
That just means you're well loved.
Yeah, but love can be, too much sometimes.
Love can hurt. Yeah.
You don't have to drink it, Pedro.
If love hurts, you're doing it right.
I've heard that, Glenn. I've heard that.
I do, but you don't have to.
So what are we
just
talking
wait,
about?
just wait until you get our age, buddy.
Ugh, yeah.
Ugh.
No, I'm exercising. I'm trying to.
Mitch is shaking his head. He's going, I'm never gonna get your age. Never.
Ugh.
No,
Never
I'll
be.
probably die of alcohol poisoning or someone kills me.
That's a good plan.
Damn, you got to go out some way.
Yeah. Be a beautiful corpse.
That's not the way it's supposed to go.
No, not really.
Hey, as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Frayne Edgar Rice Burroughs. Yeah, we were looking at a Tarzan book that I got at the show here. So what the fuck? YouTube still hasn't sent notifications out. That's not good.
Dude, that's the thing. Like you can't trust this platform fully. You have to do things by yourself.
Yep.
I'm gonna send the link through Twitter now.
Well, we were just talking about conventions, Comic Cons. I just got back from doing Great Lakes show. Found out I had a new friend. So, Mr. Dan Didio come by and thank me for sending him the nicest rejection letter he's ever received. He's still got it home in a file somewhere. Way back in the 80s, back when Arrow Comics was out, he sent a story in, and apparently I sent him back a really nice rejection slip.
Now you know he's got a soft spot for you, man. It's like Arrow Studios. Studios.
We were also talking. I told him I almost had a job at Vertigo at one point, writing a property. Will Dennis was all. I pitched it to Will Dennis when I was out in San Diego, and Will, he was editor at one of the editors at Vertigo at the time. He was really up for it. Took it back to Karen Berger. Karen Berger read the title and dismissed it automatically without reading the proposal. At least that's what Will said. Maybe he was sparing me some horrible pain, but I told him I wanted to do a supernatural soap opera title at DC that used a bunch of the supernatural characters they weren't using at the time. And again, Didio perked up and went, "Oh man, I've always wanted to do a supernatural soap opera. I love Dark Shadows." And I'm like, "Yep, right there with this." And my wife loves that show.
Yeah, and Karen Berger read it and said, "Isn't this the jackass who rejected Dan DiDio back in the day?"
Could be.
Yeah.
No,
Everything comes back.
according to Will, I had named it after the town because the town was just slightly before Buffy too. The town was like a magnet for everything supernatural. So all these oddball characters would wander through it. And that's what Will loved about it. He says, "Oh, we could bring so-and-so in and so." And I said, "Yes, that's exactly what I want to do." So this is great. I'm taking it back to Karen. And I says, "You could probably expect contracts before the end of the week." And he was all excited about it. I was all excited about it. Karen took a look at the title, and they had just gotten contracts for another property over there called Midnight Mass, which took place in a town called Midnight, Massachusetts. But it was a team of supernatural investigators, kind of a heart-to-heart couple going around investigating supernatural things, where mine was a lot more of a soap opera with different characters walking in and out, a main storyline going through, and would have been a lot of fun to do.
I've never heard of that again. So there you go. Didn't do well, did it?
No, it didn't. In fact, they ended up going public saying that they were treated rather badly by Vertigo on not percentages, but on rights and stuff. They were really, according to the creators, they said they were really screwed around on it. Yeah,
being treated bad by a large company.
So I've never heard of that.
Never heard of it. So I was sitting there going, probably dodged a bullet in the long run.
Yeah.
But,
that's the thing.
I still have tons of notes though. I was ready to. I was all excited when I got home. I was, all jazzed up. But it was so long ago. He said. I remember he sent me the email on CompuServe. Exactly. That's how long ago it was. And apologizing to me and said Karen just dismissed it outright for the title. And said that they had already just signed another property named after a town. And
the thing is that you have to hook up. Yeah, the thing is you have to hook up your dial-up internet to get that rejection.
There you go. Exactly right.
And that's just the noise that the editor has left for you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true too.
That's the noise you make when you left it running overnight and it didn't work and it cancels.
Sorry, rejected.
Rejected.
Yep. But I did bring my sketchbook. I brought my sketchbook the next day and caught him early in the morning and asked him for an autograph.
Oh, nice.
So I've had this since 96. So I learned a long time ago the business doing comics started to become a job for me, and it got very impersonal. So I decided to get a sketchbook and have people that I like do sketches in it, and have people that I truly admire do autographs inside. So, man, I wish I knew how to blow this up large again. I knew where that button was before, and now I'm not sure where it's at. It's got to be under settings somewhere. Maybe general. No. Anyway, if I could find it, not virtual background. Oh, man, come on. Crop solo layout to show background image. No, there we go. Hey, I found the button finally. Anyway, the back covers I have signed by people that I admire, and that's what we're looking at here. And his signature is right there. Had him sign up right above Will Eisner, right next to Julie Schwartz.
Wow. Shooter.
What a
book. Fantastic.
Right next to where is it? Other hand. Shooter. Right there. Yep. Shooter. Murphy is there.
Wow.
That's Hart Fisher, who I've known for many, many years. I got S. Clay Wilson, who I also admire in Spain, Rodriguez, who I'm a huge fan of. He's those are both underground artists. That's a whole nother story. This blurb right here, that's Neil Adams.
Wow. Yeah.
He signed it before he started charging everybody for his autograph. Eddie Campbell, yeah. Eddie Campbell's up there. Nick Cardy, the great Nick Cardy is there. Steve Lealoa, Steve Root, of course. You can't help but see that. That's awesome. Yeah. And over on the next page, this big scribble here is Steranko.
Yeah.
Right
of course, he has to be the biggest.
Oh, yeah. That's to be bigger than everybody else.
Well, he took the whole page originally, but I've had other people sign on it, like Don Simpson over there.
Yeah.
Daryl Banks.
Who's the Batman top left?
Yeah.
Who is that? Oh, that is Ty Templeton. That's who that is. Saw him at a show.
Cool.
A while ago.
Dude, that's the cool thing.
But yeah, Tom DeFalco is on that page, and along the bottom, I call them the big three. The big three, the ones who have changed the comics history the most within the last 10 years. That is Gail Simone, right there.
Nice.
Tony Isabella. Right there. And that is Heather Antos.
Oh, God.
Wow.
I only have one more to get them all, and that's Mark Waid.
I need some Melanza now.
That's the collection.
Not Kelly Sue DeConnick?
Well, Kelly Sue would be good to get too, but she's not as important as Mark Waid. So.
You're missing that one, yeah.
Yeah, I'll get him. Anyway.
There's two English artists you not got in there.
Well, they don't get over to the States very often, and I haven't gotten across the pond ever. So.
Honest, I won't lose it.
Who is that?
Probably Brian Boland for one.
Brian Boland and more. Yeah. I do though. I do have this. Since I'm boasting.
Yo,
I got that in there.
Nice.
Wow.
That is the pencil sketch by Mr. George Perez that he did for my Flint Comics paper. So I got that in there. So I got a lot of other sketches. We could spend the entire show going through the book because there's a couple of people in here that.
Let's do that.
They're just fantastic. All right, on the other cover, you might appreciate this.
Quack.
Mr. Dick Ayers.
Yeah. Wow.
There, Rick Geary.
I hope that's not your current address.
Bob Davis. Oh yeah, it is.
Oh no!
Right there.
Nice.
What am I gonna do? Get hate mail? Come on. Send all your hate mail right there, buddy. Boom. I I've printed my address inside of all the Arrow comics. Everybody who hates me already knows where I live.
So
So
everybody who hates you and bought some books.
Yeah,
that is Arvell Jones' signature. Yeah, everybody who hates me has bought my books. Steve Siegel, Jose Garcia Lopez is right there.
Did he say Lopez?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that. Normally, that name in Spanish is Lopez, but
Probably
Lopez.
yeah. But
forgive my gringo accent.
no. Like sometimes people do that. Like they change the accent of their last name to sound interesting.
Right, Mr. Frank Brunner. Right there. Big fan of his duck work. Anyway, Keith Pollard's on there. Mike Grell, of course, is on there. So, yeah. Sketches. She didn't draw in the book, but I do have an illustration in there by the great Ramona Fredon.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
That's great.
Just love it. That's got a couple sketches just pasted into the book because I didn't want to lose them. At a Chicago show, many years ago, took him like all of 3 minutes to draw.
Nice.
Sergio Aragones. He started with the nose on Gru and just worked it right out from there. No guidelines.
No wonder drawing. Yeah.
Just did it. Also at the same Chicago show, I got to sit next to this guy. I asked him if he'd do a convention, if he'd do a sketch, and he refused to do it. He said, "I don't do sketches at shows." Oh, I'm sorry. So I would have paid for it. And he got up to do a panel, left, and I watched. He asked me to watch his table, so I watched his table. And he come back, and there wasn't anybody around for about 15-20 minutes. He goes, Randy, give me your sketchbook. I'll put something in it. It's okay. So, yeah, all I had was a ballpoint pen. I hope this comes out on camera.
Al Williamson.
Wow.
Al Williamson. Look at that.
Wow.
Very cool.
And he did it like nothing flat. There's a ballpoint pen. Just there we go. He says, thanks. He goes, thanks for watching my table. So, yeah. I got this weirdo in my book as well. Some guy named Rosama. He's a running gag on the show, Pedro.
Okay.
Got a big sketch. Mr. Guy Davis.
That's cool.
Doesn't do comics anymore. Did Sandman Mystery Theater for a long time. Did the Marquee. Did started out drawing The Realm for Arrow Comics way back then. I also got this. One of my pride and joys. It's funny. I asked him to give me a sketch. He says, what do you want me to sketch? He says, anything you want to sketch. And he thought for a minute. He goes, how about if I do an HR Puffin stuff? And I said, okay, do an HR Puffin stuff. It'll be great. So I own the only HR Puffin stuff ever drawn by Mr. Vince Locke.
And you know he's your friend when things get rough.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the guy that's painted every album cover for Cannibal Corpse.
Nice.
You know? And I got an HR Puffin stuff sketch from him. Give me just a second. I'll be right back.
Do it.
It's 10 years since I went to a convention. Don't know about you guys. Last time it was when I was doing Crikey. It's ages ago, you know.
Last time I went to a convention would have been probably 5 years ago. I guested at a convention, and since then I haven't been.
I'm trying to do more and more of them this year. This one was really good because it was down in the Detroit area and met a lot of friends I haven't seen in years, and had a lot of people come up and go, "Glad you're still with us." Yeah. Yep. Glad I'm still with you.
When you're anonymous like me, you don't get a lot of you don't get asked to go to that many conventions. So paying for a table for transport, not getting paid for the day that you should have been working. Yeah, it's just it turns out it's not really that worth it. It's only you don't want to sound arrogant where you're like, well, I'm only going to go if you guest me and pay for my travel.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's not a point. No point.
I mean, when you live in Jurassic Park, basically Latin America,
you're down in Panama. Yeah.
conventions are like, wouldn't it be nice if we had a real convention? It's like they make them, but people go and they have like books from Marvel, DC. It's like, you draw, yeah. Do you have a book? No. You draw, yeah. Do you have a book? No. You draw, you have a book? No. It's like that, and it's just like one guy with one shitty book, and then it's just like panels of, hey, this movie's coming out. It's very sad. Like I don't like them. So
yeah, well, conventions have gone away from comic books now, and then they're mainly media conventions anyway. So
the larger shows, the 2-3 day shows, have turned into media events.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, you'll catch a 1 day show. That's why I used to love to run 1 day shows, because they were primarily comics.
The smaller ones tend to be more comic focused,
or more paper in general, more physical paper oriented.
I mean, there's a thing also, like people who do like comic books down here. Actually, Colombia has a huge. It's a book fair.
Yeah,
but it has like a huge comic book section, and that has done like the go-to place around here. Like you go to Colombia, and you can actually sell some books, and also like Sony makes like this like video game convention, and a lot of like comic book artists piggyback onto that convention, and they get to sell some books. So it's not like all grim, but when they say like, "Oh, let's go to Panama Comic Con," everyone's like, "Yeah, sure, it's a comic book." Yeah.
Well, around here, I have a hard time scheduling a 1 day show anymore, because everybody keeps throwing the 2 day shows on the same weekend. It gets pretty rough. I couldn't arrange a 1 day show up here this year because everybody else is running shows. So all on the key. I used to run a 1 day show over at my local farmers market. It was a lot of fun. It's just an informal party with a bunch of artists, and anybody who wanted to come in and pay $5, I had a few big comic dealers set up, and it's just, like I said, it's just a lot of fun. It's like a little party more than a convention.
Not sure about informal parties with artists.
It's
a lot of fun.
Dude,
fuck you, Stu. Still
a farmer's market. Oh, the thing is that you don't have that much of a fly problem. You don't want your comics next to the papayas down here.
Oh yeah. No, we don't. It's a really clean market.
Yeah. No, these markets are clean, don't get me wrong, but the thing is like where you have like open fruit, there's gonna be bugs.
The sugar just attracts them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like putting out one of those light switches. It's just come up and sugar.
You know what? Yeah.
Marv says, any photos to share? I did post one photo yesterday up there. A guy come by dressed as Dudley Do-Right.
Oh, nice.
And it's over on my timeline. You can
Dudley
Dudley Do-Right, man.
Dudley Do-Right. You don't know who Dudley Do-Right is?
I don't know.
Dudley Do-Right, Roger Ramjet, same studio, almost the same story.
We did.
I know Roger Ramjet. Yeah.
We did a couple of shows on old cartoons and old cartoon characters, but we didn't show any Dudley Do-Right because I figured for sure we'd get copyright struck for sure.
Yeah.
On that. But here, let me show you. I've got it pulled up. Share screen.
And I'm pretty sure all those shows share scripts because all the stories were the same. They just changed like the setting. But it's always the aloof, heroic character, a really intelligent sidekick, and there you go, Dudley Do-Right.
Oh, right. There's Dudley Do-Right.
He's Canadian then, yeah?
A Canadian mounted,
Canadian mounted police.
He
has more relationship with his horse than he does with the nearby sweet damsel, Nell.
Yeah. Right. Sounds great.
And the guy that he's always looking at, the big major villain who's always dressed in black with the pipe top hat. It's Snidely Whiplash. Yeah.
Instagram loving big horse.
Who looks like Dishonest John, who looks like all the other vaudeville villains of the day. Yeah. Of the old days. Yeah. Anyway. Yes. I got going through the sketchbook. I got one from Matt Fazell. He's a genius with stick figures.
Oh, nice.
I printed his Cynical Man in my Flint Comics paper for quite a few years. Robert Krause, RAK Graphics.
Wow. Spent a bit of time on that.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, that was back in the 90s. That's some great stuff. Oh, here we go. I got a squee.
Yeah.
Jonan Vasquez.
Yep. Jonan Vasquez. He sat there. He took that magic. I asked him for a sketch. He says, okay. He takes his magic marker out, plops it on the page, and looks me straight in the face while he's drawing. How you doing? What's going on? Liking the show? And I'm sitting there going, you know, and he gets done with a little squee here like it was nothing. Here we go.
That was my entire high school life was Jonan Vasquez comics.
Oh yeah, Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, absolutely. Yeah. Yep, and squee. Here's Stan Sakai.
I like the way they take up the whole page.
Yeah,
and don't do a tiny thing in the corner.
No,
that's great.
I try to get him to take the page. Yeah,
that calls for a big personality. Just like
look at that,
Mark Crayley.
That's a name I haven't seen in years.
I know. Does it Kiko? It's been a long time. It's such a great book too. Bill Bryant.
Oh,
used to do the Oz books that I printed as Arrow and did the Oz series for Caliber. Let me find these other guys you probably know. We got a great Tyler Walpole. He went on to do a lot of work for Dungeons and Dragons, from what I understand.
Look at that.
It's a Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm. Oh, put that back up. Sorry.
I got another great Doctor Strange in here too to show off.
Check that out. He put some time into that one, didn't
he?
Yeah.
Oh, when Doctor Strange was a man. So cool.
Printed a little bit of his work at Arrow. So Abdul, I don't even know if that's going to pick up on the camera because it's so light. Abdul Rashid.
Wow. Right.
He's the guy who drew Corvus for Arrow. He went on to do a little bit of work for Marvel. I don't know what he's doing now. Oh, here we go. This one will show up real well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's Tim Truman.
It's Jonah Hex?
Yeah, Jonah Hex.
Nice.
Folks, if you're able to get out to a lot of conventions, I really suggest you get a sketchbook like this and just invite people to go crazy. You might end up having to pay. There's some of these sketches I paid for over the years. Here's the Three Geeks. There's a name you don't hear from very often either anymore. Did a book called Three Geeks for many years back in the 90s and 2000s, I believe. Rich Kolowski. No idea what happened to him. Printed Semantic Lace at Arrow Comics for a couple issues by Sherrard Jackson.
Well, put some time into them, didn't they?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
It's a nice piece.
Very Eon Flux.
Sherrard Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
He went on to finish the story and have Devil's Due printed after Arrow folded. We had him under contract for, I think it was 3 issues. He did 2. And then decided that partying was more important than keeping his commitment. So.
Sounds like my friends.
Andrew Pete Boy. This is Simone and Ajax. Pete Boy did the Little Orphan Annie comic strip for many years. He's a big inker, Marvel, DC, Archie. He's done a lot of work. So he was a pure professional. Back when I was doing Arrow Comics, I could call him and ask him what he was doing 3 months from now. He'd look on his calendar and tell me exactly what he would be working on.
Wow.
Well,
He had his stuff that far up in advance.
I could do you that if somebody would employ me 3 months in advance.
There we go. Not much more here.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Nick Rommel. Here is Aaron Bordner. Does a little bit of underground work. That was huge. His style was a lot of fun for many years. Used to do little mini comics for quite a while. Ash cans almost. I'm not sure what he's doing now. He's probably working high up in some production office, probably for a video game or something. Here is Tom Artis, who's an artist that very few people know that I have nothing but high respect for. He did a couple of miniseries for DC. Decided that working for comics was more than what he wanted to do, and I think he started teaching art after that. Here's Artis again. He drew the one picture, didn't like it. So he drew another picture and he said, well, you didn't want me to draw a self-portrait of me. He says, you wanted a pretty girl, didn't you? Give me your sketchbook back. Put a pretty girl in there.
Can't have enough of those.
There was his first attempt. He didn't like it.
Wow.
So he stopped midstream. Then he drew a picture of him pretty much from behind with a saber tooth and a dinosaur.
Nice.
Saying, wow, those guys back there can really draw. And he looked at the other stuff. So I guess the sketchbook intimidated it. So. I got a picture by Doug Paskowitz, actually a cartoon.
Oh,
Nice.
And if you've never seen Doug's work, Doug does a comic called Arsenic Lullaby. And it's very much it's the most dark black humor book you've ever read in your life, and it's just genius. It's beautiful work, just phenomenally funny. He worked for Mad Magazine for a while before they folded. Great Ron Sutton.
Yeah,
I miss Mad Magazine, man.
Yeah, everybody does. Just miss it greatly.
Yeah.
Ron Sutton doing Elvira. He was working on Elvira at the time. I got another. Oh, Tom. I think you pronounce his last name Scioli, who draws a lot like Kirby. Tom. I think it's Scioli. Not sure if I killed your name, Tom. I'm sorry. Melanie. Melanie Frias, somebody that I knew for a while out of Chicago. Does
nice.
Almost ElfQuest type work.
Yeah,
it's a great little mermaid there. Art Baltazar. That's his Wolf Boy character. He did work for DC, Tiny Tots or Tiny Titans, something like that, for quite a while. Here's another sketch that I pasted in the book that you might not be able to see. It's super light and in pencil.
Yeah, I can see it. Yep.
Eric Schanauer does really beautiful, delicate work. And that is Ozma, I believe. It's either Ozma or Glinda. Then I've got a picture here by Mark Baudet, but I don't know if I can show it because it's got bare breasts in it. Vaughn Baudet's son.
I didn't know bears had breasts.
They do. Absolutely do. Tim Vigil, this one I can show because it's only gory. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Yep. Violence fine.
Yeah. Violence is fine.
Yeah.
Tim
That's
Vigil.
awesome.
Haven't seen him in a number of years, but I blame him for my for introducing me to strip clubs. That's a long story there.
What a geezer.
Hey, he's just a man of the world.
Then I'm a certified reverend in the Universal Life Church, and I had the chance to marry this guy at a Motor City show. So the marriage didn't last very long, but it was a lot of fun to marry him. Anyway, to get him married off, and in exchange for performing the vows, he gave me a Dr. Strange.
Oh, look at that!
Oh, nice!
Wow.
Mr. Eddie Newell, incredibly talented, very very underrated, very underused as well.
I thought you were showing us another side of you there, Randy, when you said you married the guy.
No, I got him married to. Actually, I became a reverend because I had a dear friend that moved back to her hometown. She lived in Chicago for many years, moved back to South Carolina, ended up meeting her childhood sweetheart. And they hit it right off again, and she wanted to marry him. And I said, well, and she didn't know who to do the service. So I said, well, I'll just become a minister. I'll marry you. And she goes, would you please, would you? So, yeah, that's what I did. I've only married about a dozen couples over the years, but my most unusual was to a Zionist woman to a Sikh male. And neither one of them could get married in their own church because the other partner was a non-believer.
Yeah.
Sorry, the dogs.
They're the wolves.
Who let the dogs out?
The werewolves are coming.
It's more of your friends, Pedro, wanting to take you out for your birthday.
Why do they call her a lassie?
No, dude, he just can't stand like vendors. So when there you go. So I'm gonna mute.
Jay Foskett. He's got a great animation style. Does Bode Troll and has done a lot of cover work for IDW on their licensed material. Here's another one I'm really happy with. This is Emily Zelasco. I printed her a lot in Flint Comics, and she did a kind of a domestic strip, and she does beautiful ink work, nice illustration work. Here is
cool.
Here is
Lovely.
Business Godzilla.
Those shoes, those feet.
Yeah,
fabulous.
She's got an amazing style.
Yeah,
Flapadaps. If you've seen the Revolt book or the first issue of Revolt, she adapted a Norse poem in the book.
That was quite a different style, wasn't it? Yeah.
Real heavy blacks, yeah. I seem to have skipped over the one I really wanted to boast about. Let me find it here. Mark Bloodworth did kind of a. Mark did Night Streets for Arrow. He's been doing a lot of movie poster type work for fun. There's the Hootenanny. So, yeah.
Hootenanny.
Hootenanny. Let me find that sketch here. I must have glossed over it somehow. But I saw this guy at a show, and I didn't know. I was willing to pay him because I love his work so much, and he wouldn't take any money for it, and he knew who I was. So I guess my reputation preceded me. I'll find it here. I have the great, also had the great Scott Biederstadt, did Troll Lords.
Oh, look at that.
Known Scott for many years. He always does great work. He's a fantastic artist. Hopefully he'll be bringing back Troll Lords here soon. It's one of those properties that should have never left, you know. Oh, where is it? Come on. There it is. Last one. I promise. Last one.
Oh,
that's nice.
That's nice. Isn't it?
The great Mike Waringo. Yeah.
Strong.
Yeah. That beak.
My favorite Spider-Man artist.
Just crazy good stuff. Rest his soul. Anyway, that's pretty much my sketchbook. Outside of other people that, I got a few others in there, but those are the big ones. That's the highlights. There.
Pedro's dogs are still howling.
No.
Oh,
that's all right. But yeah, I picked up a couple of books. The Tarzan book is the big one because all of everything that Kubert ever did. I didn't know if Dark Horse had even done that, or I'd have bought it fresh. So.
When was that published, Randy? That Tarzan?
Probably back when they had the Tarzan license. They printed a lot of other people's stuff in volumes like that. This is dated 2005.
Wow.
Introduction to Tarzan has an introduction by Joe Kubert in it.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
It's got all of his Tarzan work, even the ones, and there's a couple of stories in here which is really cool that they took the comic strip by Hal Foster and Bern Hogarth and cut them into comic book pages, and then Kubert did a bookend story around it. Like Tarzan sitting around a fire going, "Let me tell you my greatest adventure," kind of thing. And they go off on this beautiful reprint of Hal Foster or Bern Hogarth from the comic strips from the 1930s or I think both of them were 1930s. Because Foster started on the Tarzan strip, and then Hogarth took it over. So just great stuff. Superboy 100 pager, yeah, and the Legion. That's fun. We looked at that. We could look at that. That's got a phenomenal Cockrum story in it. That's comics by night worthy. I'm telling you, just great stuff. The those old super spectaculars are always great for me. Superman, Superboy battles Superman. Never had that one, so I figured, it's $2. I'll buy it. Got an old Tarzan, #2, Marvel type. I thought it was John, but it turned out to be Sal.
Right. Yeah.
Who was inking?
Let me pop it here. It's not bad work. I mean, it's great stuff.
Yeah, you see, the thing about Sal is that depending on who inks him, he can look a bit like John.
R. Matera.
Right.
Matera.
Not familiar.
But he is I don't think he's done a whole lot of other work. Like you said, I don't recognize the name at all.
No.
But it's not your typical
No.
It's not your typical Sal Buscema.
No, it's got, yeah.
So he was a hard inker on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a very hard inker.
Just imagine how many artists have been through the ranks that you just don't recognize the names of.
Yeah, that have come and gone. Just popped in long enough to do an issue or two and get a taste of the life and hate it. And leave.
Realize
that and the page rate. You paid me how much?
I'm going to get shafted for this. I'm off to film.
I'm going back to draw Teletubbies. See ya.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I'm doing production.
At least you get your name in the book, man. Animation is way more anonymous.
Oh yeah.
It was like
Korak.
Well, even if they put your name in, you're in a bunch of credits that are streaming past at 100 miles an hour.
Dude, and everybody recognizes the voice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he was the Little Mermaid. No, the Little Mermaid was 15 overweight men working 16 hours for 3 years to animate it. That's the Little Mermaid.
Yep.
The great Murphy Anderson story in the front.
Nice.
These old Koraks have got a lot of charm to them. They're always good single issue stories too to read. There's always somebody good working on them. And then, of course, most of those Koraks in the back have a backup feature of, and the Burroughs estate really needs to collect these. They might have, knowing my luck, they probably did, and I missed it. But they would always carry a chapter of Carson of Venus done by William Kaluta in the back. Very just beautiful work. There's great stuff. He's on Facebook as well. He's been posting a lot of his work. Picked up a couple of other shadows that were by the great Frank Robbins. Amazing stuff. That's somebody I didn't appreciate growing up. Hated his work growing up. Love his work now as an adult. He's got a great Milton Caniff look to his stuff.
They really need to do a Shadow TV show or movie or something.
Well, that Alec Baldwin one kind of disparaged everybody.
They'd only ruin it, Mitch.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Anymore, just like Doc Savage, the same thing would probably happen. So.
And they call a Baldwin, someone's in danger in that production.
So example of Robbins' work.
Yeah.
Another great William Kaluta cover. I should take that out of the wrap so that you can actually see it. He did the first 6. Kaluta did, and they're all. I think it was all the first 6, and they're all incredible classic stuff. I don't know if that's ever been collected or not, but look at that cover.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Just amazing. Love his stuff. Love his shadow work. He did a graphic novel for Marvel. This is actually done by, written by Denny O'Neil with artwork by E.R. Cruz.
Look at that.
Like I said, $2 reading copies. Can't go wrong
No.
at a show.
Wow.
Just great fun stuff. And again, color doesn't get in the way on this. It's all flat
No,
tone.
it's nice, isn't it?
So you can see that beautiful ink line work coming through. Just great.
Works really well. You know, you were just showing Sal Buscema work there, as good as he is, and I love Sal Buscema's work. It just shows me, when I see his work, it just shows me how good John was.
Yeah. That's the thing, is you look at Sal's work and it is great, and then John's just another step up.
Yeah.
Another league.
Also got this, our Fighting Forces.
Oh yeah, you just to show that cover, Randy, please.
Let me take it out of the bag.
Yeah, you flashed it earlier on.
Have that reflection going on.
Yeah,
there.
That's great. Look at those
That's
ammunition,
a Cuba, isn't it?
There's ammunition pouches on.
I would believe so. Yeah,
it is Joe Kubert. Yeah, and the splashes on the helmet of the rain.
Yeah, all done with ink. The colors accentuating it, but
that's exactly what I was going to say. This time the color actually works.
The color's working because it's not fighting the inks.
Yeah. This is a lot more recent book. These are the 100 pagers that they did for the Walmart market.
Yeah.
And then the retailers, the direct market found out about it and got mad because they were producing
we
all
know
this.
it was working for the direct market, don't we?
And a lot of this stuff was just them cleaning out their drawers of stock material that they had, which is a shame because they had 100 pages to play with and they could have done some really incredible work, but it was kind of, some of it was, especially on the superhero stuff, was always continued. So you were getting part 2 of 6 or part 3 of 6 all the time. This has got some. For 100 pages, you should have just wowed everybody, especially printed on newsprint, charged, I believe it was $4.99 for 100 pages. Looking for a price here. Yeah, $4.99.
Wow.
Very, very lower print quality, but
do you know what?
A lot of space for $5.
It really befuddles the mind as to what some of these marketing people and execs think about all day and do. Because they flood the market in direct market comic stores so that indies don't get a chance at even being a competition on the racks.
Right. And
yet when it comes to the opportunity to flood the market once again in somewhere like Walmart, they just screw it up.
Yeah.
And you think, what are these people thinking? What are they doing?
Well, if you get your, human studies degree, you specialize on races of people working at the company, you have no space in your brain for a good strategy or marketing.
No. This has a story. Right. This has a Batman story in it. Let me see if I can find the right credits.
No.
In the Fighting Forces book, it's got a Batman story in it by looking for. See if I can find credits because it's really well done. Medal of Honor, Sal Giunta, looks like Brad Metzer. No wonder. It was illustrated by Jim Lee and inked by Scott Williams.
Oh, cool.
They never work together.
No.
Which
no, and let's face it, they're rubbish, awesome. Aren't they? That's not going to be a good book.
Newsprint. This is newsprint, folks.
Just
look at it. Look
at that.
It works.
Yeah, it works. They don't want to print on this paper anymore.
No, I mean, I think now newspaper printing is like more expensive.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right.
Depending upon your source and your printer, sometimes and the amount that you print. Sometimes,
yeah, exactly.
Because I printed that Flint Comics paper on newsprint, and I was getting it for about, I think it was 12 cents a unit. Printed 10,000.
Yeah,
moved through over 9,000, but
But they're just
doing volume.
Printers aren't doing it
what
anymore.
It is. It's all volume.
Printers aren't doing that newsprint anymore, though, are they? It's getting more and more. It's getting harder and harder to find anyone to
find one. Yeah,
it's because that takes a large Gutenberg press. So they bring the newsprint in on tremendously huge rolls, the size of a tree, size of a sequoia tree, actually.
Yeah, it's all digital now.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
It's like the printing you see on movies, like Justin, like on the movie reels, like those printers made in cast iron. That's all gone now. It's all digital and flimsy looking.
Oh, I can't master it. Okay, this looks like. Last but not least, the last reading copy that I got, and this is back during the era where every other page in comics was a ad. Here we go. I got a copy. So I don't remember having this book. I got a copy of Tiger Man.
Tiger Man.
Grar.
Rawr.
Tiger Man. He stalks the night.
Wow.
From Atlas Comics. Artwork by.
Check out Tiger Man. Look at him go.
Yeah, if you would put a soundtrack to this story, what would it be? I don't know, man. Like the design is taking me to like very like hard sensual techno. Like
Look at that great proportion.
I'm gonna scratch you.
You should know the artist. You should know the artist by now, just by seeing that face.
And then just as he
Steve
comes across him,
Ditko. Yeah.
it'd be like some of those Batman bongo drums.
Yeah. Look, it's all dude. The action is
everything goes better with bongos. So
it's great. It's great storytelling and action and fun. Yeah. What you want out of a comic, funnily enough.
I'm trying to see who did this cover, and I don't see any identifying marks. So I guess it's as good as mine.
Yay!
Yay, Tiger Man.
Tiger Man.
He'll fuck you hard.
That was a big character for Atlas Comics. They were really promoting him hard. So.
Yeah, dude.
Tiger Man.
You don't tell Clemson University down here about that book; they'll want to snatch it up.
Mm-hmm.
Their mascot's the tiger.
Yeah.
Nice. No, dude, but I mean, the art was on point. I was really enjoying it.
Yeah,
really cool.
Ditko is always fun.
Ditko.
Might as well pop that Superboy and Legion story though, because I haven't looked at that since I was a kid. It probably doesn't look nearly as good as my nostalgia remembers it.
That's usually how it works.
Usually.
Do you know what? Yeah and no, because this is something we talk about on a Friday morning.
Yeah, it is.
As an adult, you can go back to those strips that you considered to be perfect when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And you, like, for instance, on the left there, his back is a little bit high. There's a little bit of janky janky figure drawing there. Okay, but you wouldn't have seen that as a kid. You'd have just seen this was fantastic and I love it. So as an adult, you can go back to it and say, oh, that's a bit janky. But at the same time, as an adult, you can appreciate the work that much more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the great Dave Cockrum right there.
I got the second book I'm doing at the moment. Rick was editing some of it, and he said that it reminded him a bit of Cockrum. So huge praise there.
It's fun. Colossal Boy, Shrinking Violet.
Colossal Boy.
Yeah. Legion.
I still like Matter Eater Lad.
Yeah.
That's just what a name.
It's not just that, but Matter Eater Lad came from the planet Bismol.
Why do they call you Massive Colossal Boy? Well,
I wonder why.
Yeah, exactly. That's like a porn handle from the 70s.
Yeah.
Wildfire.
You know,
Starring Colossal Boy.
Colossal Boy with the biggest tash.
Yeah.
It's the wrath of the devilfish.
Colossal Boy's at the door.
Yeah, exactly.
I hear you've got a problem with your refrigerator.
Okay. He's at the door. He's knocking, but his hands are in his pockets. Colossal Boy.
Light lass. That's why she's got a feather on her chest.
Light as in she's light.
She's not heavy. She's not heavy.
She makes things lighter.
Brother.
Yeah. Like Starboy used to make things heavier.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, right. There's a play on
What?
gravity.
That was always the great thing about Legion of Superheroes, just the dumb powers these kids
Yeah,
dumb.
what
the only
did
way you got
Colossal
in
Boy
was
do?
the only way you got in is you had to have a unique power.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't, if it was a goofy unique power, then they rejected you and you became part of the Legion of Substitute Heroes.
Oh, nice.
That's where Stone Boy was there, who could only turn himself into a stone, into a stone statue.
Wow.
Just
He
like
turned himself into a stone. What's the point of that?
Yeah.
Oh, they
So
can
he could-
throw him. They can
so he
throw
could
him
hide
at
from
their
people.
enemies. Yeah.
They had a character when they were doing tryouts come in and say, "Hi, I'm Porcupine Pete," and he had all quills all over him. His unique power is that he could shoot out his quills.
Ouch.
Well, he became an X-Man.
Yeah.
Pretty much. No, he was in Legion of Substitute Heroes. For the longest time, there was this big urban legend that the new X-Men characters, Colossus, Storm, and Nightcrawler, that Cockrum brought into the new X-Men, were originally supposed to be Legionnaires. Because Nightcrawler could teleport, Storm controlled the weather, and Colossus turned his skin into metal.
Yeah.
And that was kind of Firo Lad's power, but Firo Lad was already dead by that point.
Yeah. The thing is, like, if you can turn yourself to stone and you can't move, and it's pretty useless.
But Keith Giffen used that to his advantage. He did a couple of really funny Legion of Substitute Hero books where
nice.
He'd jump off. Stone Boy would jump off a building, turn himself into stone, and fall on the villain.
Nice.
Right.
Wow.
Like a Wile E. Coyote cartoon.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I would be too immature to
Oh, those were the days.
Yeah.
Hi,
I'm Clem Chowder Boy.
Yeah. Night Lass was a Legion of Substitute Hero. All she could do is shoot out night out of her hands. Darkness. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Shoot out just solid dark Night Lass. And Chlorophyll Kid, who used to have all these pouches around him of different seeds. All he could do is make things grow. Throw out a seed,
Really?
he'd zap it and turn into a big plant that would squash people.
Wasn't there a story with her when she met Colossus Boy?
With Night Lass?
Boy.
Never mind. That was a joke. Never mind.
No, dude, but I mean, Chlorophyll Kid, that could be dangerous. Maybe you make like a villain swallow like a watermelon seed and then make it grow inside of him.
Yeah.
You'd have thought they'd have rejected Bouncing Boy, but he was a regular Legionnaire. All he did was inflate and bounce like Boing all over the place.
Marvy, like fire fart. Nice.
Fire fart? No. There was who was it? What was the character's name? All he could do is change the color of different things.
Oh, that's useful.
Yeah, I don't remember the character's name.
So like
I don't think it was Rainbow Man. But
the bank robbers are driving away from the scene, and he changes it to green, even though it's red. Another car's
exactly.
Right.
This stuff writes itself.
Look,
It's brilliant.
he can do like odd colors, like mauve and teal.
But they ended up taking Polar Boy and Night Lass out of the Substitute Legion, made them regular Legionnaires after a while.
Polar Boy.
Polar Boy.
Polar Boy.
Does he
That's
switch
against
emotions?
bipolar boy.
No,
That's what
actually,
he did now.
He has the power to go from happy to sad.
that would have been. I'm sorry, but that would have been Bipolar Boy, and nobody would have cared about his sexual preferences
Exactly.
because it was the future.
Yeah.
Dude.
A lot of. They had the last one I remember, and in Substitute Legion was Infectious Lass. Who could make people sick.
Infectious lass.
Okay.
I know a couple of those.
That character.
I know a couple of those infectious lasses.
Colossus Boy better stay clear.
Yeah.
Jesus
Colossus
Christ.
boy. I know. I've been infected by.
How do you fight them? Like with a little squirt gun? Like, oh, here comes the infectious lass.
Nah, she just gives them herpes.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
Oh my God.
Stop or you'll itch.
Or you'll itch. Whatever.
Oh dear.
Anyway. Anybody have anything else to say about? Well, if you get a chance, there's a great cartoon out that Warner Brothers did about the Legion of Superheroes. It's one of my favorite animated cartoons.
Yeah.
Just great. Watch the first season and a half, and then just quietly not watch the last half of the second season because the writing just goes right off a cliff, and was pretty bad. But the first season especially is really good. That's where Karate Kid came from. Karate Kid, Timber Wolf was there, and Dawn Star, who's a Native American with wings.
Nice.
Block, who was kind of like the thing. Glenn's laughing. Yeah.
Dude, what's the name? The Super Friends.
And they let Tyrock in because he had a dark skin tone, and he got to resent it. He ended up leaving. So,
nice.
I'm the only black guy here. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Suddenly,
but it's always like that.
Felt a little token, and
Yeah,
it's your fault.
You're always the.
He was angry too. I'm sure back during the 2000s they couldn't figure out what to do with his hair, so they just shaved his head. Just like they did with all of the black characters back during that day. Those days.
I mean, we kind of do that. So,
well,
well, it's easier to draw.
Yeah,
exactly.
Quicker. That's why Spider-Man got Venom. People were tired of drawing all that webbing.
Yeah.
Let's put him in a white spider, black costume.
Yeah, white spider, black costume. It looks awesome, and all the artists are going like.
Now what are we gonna do? Why don't you animate the costume? There you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Make him look mean.
Yeah, because there's nothing more time consuming than having to fill in large blotches of black area.
Yeah. Well, no, that actually what was worse was trying to figure out the webbing on Spider-Man, especially when he was in a proportional pose. I was in the green room at the convention, got to talk to Daryl Banks about that. We were laughing pretty hard. Because there's a 2 or 3 page Ditko story that he did in the back of one of the Spider-Man annuals that was autobiographical, that had him hitting his deadline and working real hard and being so happy that he hit it. Then he realized that he hadn't put any of the webbing on Spider-Man. And that meant he was going to be up all night.
That's the thing is that webbing is like skin tight, and it's the webbing surrounding the muscles. So it's not just like drawing lines, man. That's it's a nightmare.
You got to get it to look right.
No,
I think John Romita had the best idea when he took over Spider-Man with Spider-Man's head, didn't he? When he with the mask on, he what is it? Yeah, it's 3 lines over the top and 4 coming down the mouth. Whereas Ditko had 15 million in issue 1.
Yeah,
he just standardized it, didn't he?
Yeah,
He gave it he created effectively the standard for the character.
That happens with a lot of these characters. The longer they go, the more standardized they end up becoming. So just take a look at Garfield when he first started out. When Davis was first drawing him, he drew him like a kill band cat that was morbidly obese, and then he trimmed him down to the cartoony cat we know today.
Yeah, and Michael Ringo, to reference someone from your sketchbook, sometimes he wouldn't even draw the webbing if Spider-Man was far away.
Oh yeah, no, Ditko did the same thing. He'd drop it if it just too much work. Yeah, it turned into a black blob once it was reduced and printed.
Yeah, but I mean that happens in real life. It's called atmospheric perspective. Like
you wouldn't see the lines anyway, would you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like me, I don't draw the fingernails on my characters if they're far away enough because people that do, I notice it just looks like there's things on the tip of their fingers. It doesn't look like
what's going on now?
It looks like soot, like dirt.
Yeah.
And, you might always make the mistake to draw 6 fingers and everybody will think you're AI then. So.
Yeah. Dude, what's with AI in hands? Nemesis?
Just a flaw in the programming that they'll get figured out here really, really quick, unfortunately. Yeah. So, I was talking to I sat next to Chris Scalf at the show, the great master of Photoshop. He does a lot of commercial storyboard work that he used to do a lot of storyboard work until the advertising companies discovered AI, and he's already had his a lot of jobs dropped because
I'll bet
you can pay some idiot monkey in an office to do the programming and do an AI picture that they would have paid Chris $200 to draw in 20 minutes.
That happened. A similar thing happened in the early 90s with the Apple Mac, didn't it? A lot of typesetters lost their job because we could do our own. Our own. If you know anything about leading and kerning, it's not difficult.
Yeah.
But at least that is a mechanical thing. Do you know what I mean? Leading and kerning, that's like for the most part, typography is a mechanical thing.
Yeah.
Drawing things isn't.
No.
Agent Zero's in the house. Justin, how you doing? Go over to Indiegogo right now and take a look at the Chrome Dog campaign. You have to type the words Chrome Dog into the search bar, and it'll pop up. But do go over there. There's some great Arrow comics also available at that in that campaign. Empyrean in the house. Hey, these are all amazing. Thank you. Thank you
dude. The thing is like, okay.
Oh, they still have the Tarzan license, but they just sit on it. Dark Horse does, according to Charles. Charles, hope you're doing well, buddy. We miss you on the shows. That Tarzan collection is great. I have it on Kindle. My favorite Tarzans are the 100 pagers, Tarzan families. Yeah, series that Korak and John Carter and other ERB stories are in it. Yep, absolutely.
Nice.
Korak is bananas. Instead of just hanging out in the jungle, Korak was always fighting kaiju and encountering mermaids and other weird things. Yeah.
As you do in the jungle.
As you do.
As you do, yeah. Those 100-page giants are great. It's nice to see a return to old-fashioned anthologies. They did Ghost Story one as well. Yeah, I've got that one. They did a couple of Halloween ones. They have a supernatural one that's just incredible. It's got a Swamp Thing story in it. There's a Zatanna story, and it's just great stuff. They don't do that anymore, though, for the Walmart market. They're done. So at least I haven't seen one in a long, long time. Great seeing you this weekend, Randy. Great seeing you too, Brett. Thanks for listening in. You're welcome on the show anytime you're awake on a Sunday morning that you're not doing a show. Just let me know. I'll send you a link. You're always welcome on the show. Atlas, nice. Was that Ditko? Yes, it was. Yeah. Newsprint. That's what I had appearing about Alterna. Yeah.
Appealing, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, appealing. Yep. Mitch. Empyrean says, my favorite thing about Legions, they took the fattest dude and married him to the girl who could split into two chicks. That's a baller move. Yeah. Actually, she started out as triplicate girl, but one of her duplicates died. Then she turned into duo damsel. So, yeah.
There's a great scene in the Invincible cartoon where the main girl, what's her name, Eve, comes back to the superhero like mansion or whatever, and her boyfriend comes out of the shower with the duplicate girl.
Whoops, awkward.
Fire Fart show have been in one of those teams. Awkward Power, right? Yeah, Fire Fart. Yep. This is I love Dawnstar. That's got to be one of my top 5 characters. Yeah. Anyway, folks, want to thank you so much for being part of Sunday Funnies this morning. Hope you had fun. We talked about shows, and I got to show off a bunch of stuff. And anyway, had some fun. What's this here?
It's just a thing I did for Marvel, where we were just looking at there you go. The further away they are, the lines of.
Yeah,
the quicker they disappear. Yeah.
But it's I did actually miss the spider off his chest as well.
It's like
the editor didn't spot it.
Well, there you are. Pedro, tell folks how they can find you.
Oh, you can find me at the Twitters as Angila. You can find me on YouTube as Pedro Ang, my channel. I'm still waiting for the equipment to start the animation school, but that's coming really, really close. Like I can taste it. And join the Kickstarter for my Second Chance campaign for Tropical Magics, and working really hard on my next project called Waifus and Kaijus, which is we're aiming for 80 pages of kaijus, babes, and mechs. So it's gonna be like a love letter to the 80s mecha. Super mecha anime of the 80s, so that's gonna be fun.
Cool. More Russ here.
That's so
sweet.
I was waiting for that until you got to me, actually, but
okay. Well, I'll remove it then. Mitch, tell us how they can find you.
You can find me at Linktree / Celtic Cross Studios right here. You can find my website, online store, socials, and email if you want to contact me personally. Keep an eye out for the crowdfunding campaign for the Boger ongoing relaunch, which is coming at the end of this month.
Cool. And Russ, tell us how they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at russleach.com. You can get a link there to pretty much everything I do. You want to sign up for the email list, that'd be really helpful. Go over to my Instagram account because I drop a piece of art there every day, whether that's new or archived. You can find me on Amazon and in all those kind of places with the first book, Only Death Can Save Us. The second book, which is what this image is from, is currently over on Indiegogo, where you can pick up an original copy of the first version of the first book. There's limited numbers available because we do go out to publisher afterwards. So there's special for those Indiegogo crowdfunder backers. You can pick that up at the moment, and it will be finished in the next month, and there will be backer packages going out, and I will be stopping the campaign. You can also find me in the pages of, there we go, forget that now. You can also find me in the pages of Batman magazine. There you go, Batman. Upside down Batman.
Upside down Batman.
Upside down Batman.
There we are.
The best kind of Batman.
There you go, Batman. Over in Europe and the UK. So you can get all those links over at my website, russleach.com.
Great. Russ. Glenn, tell us how they can find you.
Yeah, you can get me on the usual social media things, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and things like that. Go to Indiegogo and sign up for the pre-launch of this my new Hatch book, which will be out shortly. If you put Hatch What's Up in the thing, you'll find it and you'll be able to sign up for that. I'd be very grateful if you did. You can also find me in the pages of this book, which details my visits to Jack Kirby's house in the late 80s and early 90s. You get that from me. And you also get a DVD of me talking with him in his studio. And then you can also find me in Comics Unlimited magazine, which is a 100-page magazine about comics. Every couple of months that comes out, and you can get all my work on Amazon, get all my books there, magazines, and this on Amazon.
Cool. What's this, Pedro, that you put in?
Was the trailer for my campaign. Sorry.
That's a trailer for his campaign.
Excellent.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
Join the mailing list. We're launching pretty soon.
Awesome. Folks, go over to aerocomics.store. Take a look at my work. You can find somebody's calling.
Sorry.
No sweat. You can find comics like Herobot Zero over there, Herobot 02 that has a story by Empyrean Vole in it. Calico Shard, also available in Paragon, which is a superhero story I'm very, very happy with. So go over there. Also, Revolt is there as well, an anthology title I'm very happy with. Glenn has a story in here. I have a story in there, and has a great, great cover by the great Chris Scalf. So go over there and take a look. Good stuff. Revolt #2 will be available at the store very soon, and a lot more products as well. We've got a adult-oriented sub brand that we're starting up called Aero Comics 3G that you'll see that'll handle some more mature content material. That I just saw the cover for Little Mermaid Saturday. It's just amazing, just great. just Pixel and Eric Hodson's working on that book. It's going to be phenomenal. All right, everybody, we wish you the best. Bristolian in the house. Bristolian, glad you were here. We'll talk to you soon. I hope you're here just for us to say hello and goodbye. Hello, we must be going. Says, wait, is everyone leaving? Yes, we're leaving. We're here at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Sunday, we're always archived over on the Indie Comics Network. So feel free to go there and enjoy us as much as you want, point and laugh as you care to, especially if Scott Rosema is there. If you were betting on Scott Rosema, he's not here today. I was hoping Mike Jimmy would come in. His Life on Korra, I think his campaign, he just closed out. We wish him the best on that. Can't wait to see it. And other than that, pay attention to aerocomics.store, aerocomics.store for all the Aero Comics goodness. Well, there's so much more stuff coming, folks. I can't even begin to tell you. Other than that, we wish you the best. Stop by Friday morning if you can, or look at the Indie Comics Network for the Comics by Night broadcast that we do. Glenn's there in all of them. Russ is there in most of them. Everybody else is invited. Mitch has been in on a few of them, I believe. Where we look at
up that early.
Whenever he's up that early, where we look at great sequential artwork. And this next week, we're still looking at Walt Simonson. There's so much more in that book to go through. Captain Fear, Batman, Dr. Fate, Metal Men are all coming up on that show. Hopefully we'll cover it all this Friday morning, 5 a.m. Eastern Time, Comics by Night over on the Indie Comics Network. We'll be back next week, though I'm pretty sure we're going to be a pre-recorded show next week. We'll have to arrange that this upcoming week. See who we can get on for Sunday Funnies. But there should be a show next Sunday here regardless, even if the chat's not going to be open. We wish you only the best. Have a great week, everybody. If you get a chance, go visit your local retailer and go look at those boxes, those magazine boxes and the boxes on closer to the floor that don't get looked at often enough. Maybe you'll find another issue of Tiger Man. You never know. Or who knows what great magazines you can find. I will tell you, I found this Tarzan book on the floor at the convention. And I mean, it was under the table in a box. And I pulled it out and looked at it and went, holy crap, never even knew that existed. Had to have it. So got a great deal. So appreciate everybody. Thanks so much for coming on today. Appreciate you all.
Come back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah.
Next week. As we go out the door, we want to remind you of the words of our favorite Marxist. The secret of life is honesty and fair dealing. If you can fake that, you've got it made. Groucho Marx. Take care, everybody. Wish you well. We'll see you soon.
See ya.
A few little clips and we're out of here. See ya.
Have a question or comment for us to address on the show? Have a topic you want us to talk about? Email us at indiecomicsnetwork@gmail.com. Want your comics to arrive in pristine condition? Head over to GeminiComicSupply.com and save 10% on your next Gemini mailer order or anything in the Gemini Comic Supply store. Use coupon code RAGIN10. That's RAGIN 10.
Bye, Jack.
We really shook the pillars of heaven, didn't we, Wayne?
No horseshit, Jack.
No horseshit.
We're all gonna get laid.